I'm sad to say, but I'm gonna miss reviewing this show. What's going on, you guys? It's me, your boy Scotty, and we're here for my review of Chasing Atlanta Season 2 Reunion Part 2. So this is the final part of the reunion, so let's get right on into this shit, shall we? Now, this episode opens up. I'm thinking that the reunion started production like 2 hours late, and Reese breaks down about the situation. He breaks down crying. He feels like they're taking him for granted. He feels like don't nobody really give a damn about this platform, and it's really him putting his own self, his own coin on the line. And you know what? To be honest, we can say whatever we want to say about Reese, but I feel like that would be frustrating for anyone to sit around and be dealing with that type of stuff. Honestly, it would be. Like, we all give Reese a bunch of heat. We always do. But I just feel like it is kind of disrespectful, and it is kind of messed up that they would do that, knowing that they had all the time in the world to prepare themselves, knowing that they're on a time limit, knowing that if he goes over the time, it won't be no money coming out of their pocket, knowing that if they were going to get paid to do this show, they would not be coming in late. You know what I mean? So why take advantage of the situation like this? So I do understand where Reese is coming from. I would be pissed off too. I would be upset too. Look, y'all don't have to like me like that. Y'all ain't got to understand me like that. But at the end of the day, y'all need to show me a little respect for the platform that I've given you all to put yourself out there and put y'all business out there and just be there on time. That's the least you could do is be on time. You feel what I'm saying? So I totally understood. Then we talk about the New Orleans trip. Basically everybody just agreed that they all had fun. They all agreed that it was a great time and it was no drama. But I gotta say that Creflo Dollar annoyed me, as he always does on this episode. I just feel like he was capping too much. I'm sorry, but the personality that he got, it just doesn't flow well with mine. Who's to say that if I met him in person, we wouldn't get along? I don't know. But judging by this show, I just don't deal with people with that type of personality. You know, the overtly shady personalities, the people that like to cap about what they got. Like when they was looking at the recap of the scene or whatever, he was like, I don't fly buddy passes. I pay for my ticket. Nigga, I pay for my tickets too. And I have people that I know that work at airlines, but I pay for my tickets too. That ain't nothing to brag on. You're supposed to pay for your ticket, but okay, bro, okay. But all in all, it was a pretty good segment. I mean, they were just talking about how much fun they had in New Orleans and how they wished that everybody would have been there. You know, so it is what it is. Then we get into this Reese and George battle, and they're basically having a back and forth. And Reese just don't like George. I can't say that I don't understand. They just have a back and forth. Like, he was saying how he didn't want to come to George's party. He just said that him and George just don't mesh. They shade, but George is confused because he felt like there wasn't any shade. But then we go into the behind the scenes tea that George was spilling, and I'm like, oh, so this makes a lot of sense. Now, Reese, let me tell you now, with that tea, the tea that George put out there about you not showing up for the scene after he spent all that money for catering and everything else, that was kind of messed up. You know what I mean? And regardless of whether production want to show up or not, they are production. So therefore, if you're telling George that he got to do a scene today at 3 o'clock, then y'all need to be there to do that scene that day at 3 o'clock. You know what I mean? So that's just basically what it is. Like, you can't just sit up there and just cancel the scene on somebody 2 hours later and then not even take into account that they spent money to prepare for the scene. Bitch, if my scene get canceled and I spent all that money, y'all need to reimburse me my money for this catering, because somebody got to eat this damn food, okay? Like, that was kind of messed up, and I don't even deal with George like that. But at the end of the day, that was wrong, Reese. Like, that was straight up wrong, and I think that you need to have better communication. You know what I mean? It's one thing that you're a cast member, but you're also an EP, and you got to have better communication as an EP, because even just me just being a YouTube blogger, and at this point, I'm starting to branch out into do things like I'm already doing things with the Justice League already, and we always have to come together when we're trying to interview people and whenever we want to do a live stream. I'm already setting up this podcast with Jamar. And because of the COVID-19 stuff that's going on, we're doing our live streams every week. So I have to consult with Jamar on certain things and talk to him about certain things so we can set it up the way we need to set it up. Even me doing live streams with other YouTubers. I sat there and I've DM other YouTubers and have conversations with them about possibly doing work with them and when we can do it and when we can schedule. It's all about communication. It's all about communicating with people about what you're trying to do. And I don't think that I think you lack communication. So that's one thing that I can agree with George about. But then in the midst of all of that, I see that Carrie has some things to say about Reese, about everything that George was saying. Dior was agreeing with it, and so was Carrie, and he explained why he wasn't on the show as much and why we didn't see a lot of work scenes from him. And to top it all off, I can understand it, you know what I mean? But Reese's defense was, I did what you wanted me to do. You didn't want to be in a lot of group scenes because you didn't want to be a part of the drama and yada yada yada. But to be honest, let me just tell you like this, Carrie D. Let me just be all the way 100. Now, we get that you here to promote your singing career, and we get that you're here to promote your music. My thing about it is, you do have a great personality. People will want to fuck with your music and want to buy your music just for the sake of your personality alone. That's just how great of a personality you are. But if you want to be seen on a show like this, you have to have a voice. And when I say you got to have a voice, that doesn't mean that you got to be like me and be loud, country, and boisterous all the time. It don't mean you got to be like Trey Howard, going from 0 to 1,000 in 1 second. That don't mean you got to be like Trey Womack, who always got to fight somebody. That don't mean you got to be like Kane, who would venomly go at your ass. And it don't mean you got to be like George, who want to throw Phaedra Park shade all the time. But you do have to have a voice, and you have to make your presence known. And sometimes, Carrie, when you wasn't on the episodes, we didn't notice your absence, because when you're there, you don't really have that much to say. So it's hard to really get to know you as a character on the show because you don't have much of a voice. So for me to buy into your shit, you gotta have somewhat of a voice, and that's all I'm saying. I don't see nothing wrong with you being on the show. I would love to see you come back, but when you do come back, I want to see more of your personality. I want to see more of you having a voice. I want to see you have an opinion. I just want to see you do way more. Yes, promote your music, but I also want to get and buy into your personality. That's all it is. Because I know that if I was on Chasing Dallas and I'm sitting up here trying to sell my blog and trying to bring more traffic to my blog, I just feel like my personality is big. I have strong opinions. I will speak my mind whenever I need to, and I'm funny. So that alone, I feel like, will be good for a show like Chasing Dallas, and it will be good for me to come on there, promote my brand, and give my personality. And I won't be, and if I'm not on an episode, my presence won't be forgotten. People will be wondering where the hell I'm at. So Carrie, although you were likable, you became non-memorable, if that's the word. So if you're gonna come back next season, step it up. Step it up, that's all I'm saying. Now, I know that Trey Howard, I gave you some fever last week. I said you look like Pam from Total, and I still agree with that, no doubt. However, I understood your frustration. I understand your frustration. And you are an up-and-coming designer. You're trying to get your shit out there. You wanted to come on this platform to promote yourself. You came on this platform so you can promote your business and put it out there that you are a designer and get possible clients. That's what you're here to do. So for you to be treated as if you are the bottom man, the lowest on the totem pole, it would be very frustrating, especially when you're in the fashion industry and you're trying to get your business out there. And I'm gonna tell you just like this, you really did tug at my heartstrings, because throughout that rough exterior that you got, you are soft as a marshmallow, and there's nothing wrong with that, because you are really sensitive about your work. And to be honest, I feel you, because let me tell you something, Trey Howard. I've been doing YouTube for 10 years. October will make 10 years of me doing YouTube. And I've been writing ever since I was 14 years old. After 10 years of me doing YouTube blogs, I'm just now starting to grow. I'm just now starting to grow. And the more I grow, the more I venture off into doing other things besides this. I have my own YouTube show. You're watching it right now. But I'm also a part of the Justice League panel. I'm also a part of a podcast with Jamar. And by me doing all of this, I can put my books out that I've had on my computer since I was a teenager. So it used to be frustrating to me as years went by because there are people that started with me and they are at 100,000 subscribers. They were able to host events, they were able to do things, and not one time was I ever jealous. Because even if I'm not even friends with these people anymore, like say for instance, like when I was cool with Justin J, we all me, Justin, Jamar, Adrian, we all started around the same time, and the one that was able to make it farther, the farthest rather, was Justin. And even though we're not friends and I don't fuck with him like that, when he hit 100,000 subscribers, I went on Twitter and I congratulated him. No, I did not at him, but I did congratulate him. I said it on a live when somebody mentioned it to me that he hit 100,000 subscribers. I was happy for him because at the end of the day, whether he's my friend or not, and whether I like him or not, at one point in time we were friends and we started in the trenches together. We started at the bottom together, you know what I mean? And he made his way up. So when I saw him, go out and do the things that he was doing, like hosting events, get a popular podcast, interviewing people, hosting stuff, that was nice to see. And a lot of this was happening once we were not friends anymore, but I was still sitting on the sidelines like, okay, bitch, you doing your motherfucking thing, you know what I mean? And that's coming from a person that don't even fuck with him like that. I don't have to like you to congratulate you, and I don't have to like you to uplift you. When you doing something that you're supposed to be doing, you know what I mean? I can't do nothing but give you kudos for that. And regardless of how I feel about him, watching him succeed and watching him go where he went, that made me want to do more for myself. Not out of jealousy, out of inspiration. Even though I don't fuck with him like that, that was inspiration. That was someone that I was friends with. That was someone that I started with, and he elevated. That gave me the inspiration to elevate myself. Point blank, period. And that was not hard for me to admit. So Trey, I commend you for speaking your mind. I commend you for saying how you felt. I understand, because when you have a dream, you got to go hard. And at this point, since I started going hard and since I started elevating and doing more things and have a more positive mindset, my channel is growing. It's growing now. You know what I mean? I'm able to do more things. I'm able to reach out to YouTubers. I'm able to start a podcast. I'm able to be a part of a panel. I'm able to do a lot of things at this point now. So I may not be growing fast, but I'm growing. I'm showing a lot more potential these days than I did before. So now that I believe in myself, I see the growth. So Trey, long as you believe in yourself, you will get your moment. It may not be at the time that you want it to come, but let me tell you, you're going to get that moment. And when you get that moment, you better keep that momentum going. And that's all I got to say about that. So shout out to Trey Howard. Hell, shout out to Justin J too. That it is what it is. Towards the end of the episode, they had like a pass the spoon thing, and they were basically reiterating what they did at the Last Supper, and everybody said their piece. But all in all, I think that most of the people that's on the cast, except for Kane, because Kane is in Atlanta now, but I think that they all would be willing to do Chasing Dallas again for a third season. They all would be willing to do it. And I think that they just want better communication with the EP, that's all. And I think that's what they need. And it'll be a better show. But all in all, I want to say that I really enjoyed this season. Regardless of my critiquing, I enjoyed Chasing Dallas Season 2 overall. Let me get into some shout outs. I want to shout out Ariel. Even though I was ready to drag you the first 2 episodes, I came around and I see that you're not a bad person at all. You're actually a great spirit. You're a great soul, and I want to see you continue to prosper. Markel, let me tell you, you are one of the most, you are one of the cast members that take everything into stride and you don't take it personal. Even when we drag you, you don't take it personal, and I can respect that about you. So shout out to Markel, and I want to see you continue to grow and do your thing. And thank you for all the support that you're giving me and the rest of the Justice League. Shout outs to Trey Howard. Like I said, keep doing your thing. Don't ever give up, and don't ever let nobody tell you that you can't do it. Shout out to Dior. You know, that's my man crush. You know, I love me some Dior. But your personality is dope. I enjoyed interviewing you that day when the Justice League interviewed you. And I hope that one day, if I come to Dallas, I hope to meet you one day, take a lot of photos with you, and just vibe. Because I know you got a man child, so I'm not going to try to be thirsty. You know what I'm saying? Who else? Shout out to Reese for putting this show on. Shout out to him for making great cast decisions and just making sure that we had a great show. Shout out to Trey Howard for being there, for your highs and your lows and your hair pieces. Shout out to George for just being George. Whether I like you or not, you know, you did your thing. You were part of the entertainment value. I can give you that much. So, shout out to you. And I want to send a last but not least. I hope I didn't forget anybody, but last but not least, King Kane. You know that I love you. You know that I've been Team Kane for the longest. You was my very first interview for my YouTube channel. My very first interview. You have been very supportive. Even when I was going through my own little situation, you were there. You would give me tons of advice, and you prayed for me, and you saw me through. So I just want to wish you well on all your endeavors, and I want you to continue to do your thing. With that being said, this is a close to a good season. Chasing Dallas, y'all did y'all thing. I'm out of here, y'all.